You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, it is Saturday the 30th, is it the 31st? Yes, Saturday the 31st of August. You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. And on completing this podcast, I have actually managed to do what I said I was going to do. I said I was going to do a podcast every day in August. And unless something tragic happens to me between recording this and uploading it, it's rather looking like we might actually get there. So that's pretty cool. I flew back overnight from Philadelphia and arrived in the UK sort of 7 o'clock this morning, drove home, got home by about 9:30, and then, I was waiting for some deliveries before I went to sleep because there was a couple of things I wanted or that I've ordered that, and what I didn't want to do was be upstairs asleep when they tried to deliver them, so I lay on the sofa until they were delivered. It was, you may have seen them advertised on the internet, it's like a snooze band, so it's an eye mask that's got built-in little Bluetooth speakers, which means you can, I don't know if any of you have ever tried sleeping with headphones or even earbuds in, but you can't because when you roll onto your side, they either fall out or are very uncomfortable. So this is just a face mask headband thing that's got little Bluetooth speakers built into the ears so you can sleep and listen to stuff, which is pretty cool. So that was arriving. Then there was, I've told you, obviously I've waffled on about British music a lot recently. There's an artist called Florrie who I hadn't really heard of, but a couple of friends have recommended her to me, and I listened to the album on Spotify and really enjoyed it, so I actually bought it. So that arrived in vinyl today, and actually it was quite nice because she's said there's a little card in it and it's all signed and everything, so it's really quite a nice thing to own. And then the third thing was Big Finish, who are the people who do a lot of audio productions that I like, have produced ages ago actually a set of novels of the early Blake 7 episodes, and I finally got around to buying them. They were very expensive and they reduced them by about 33%, by about a third. So I bought those. Anyway, so those all arrived today. And I also nipped into town because my local bookshop that I've mentioned on here and on the live stream a few times, Suddenly on Sheaf Street, it's their first birthday. So I just went in to say congratulations and thank you and also pick up a book I'd pre-ordered. And then I had a few hours sleep. And since then, I haven't done an awful lot. I was going to do some writing. Actually, that's not true. I've done some washing. So 2 loads of washing to do, plus I need to do my regular washing. I need to do a whites load, which is basically my work shirts. So I'll do all that. I'm in the process of doing that at the moment. It's quite late tonight. It's 10 to 9 at night UK time. So I've got all this done today. But I was going to try and do some writing, but I am just too tired. So my plan tomorrow is to do a final screen edit of chapter 35 in the morning, and then start on a paper edit later that day. Probably not finish it that day, and then finish it off on Monday, which still gets me a couple of days ahead of my target, I think, or a day ahead of my target anyway. So that's what I'm going to do. And now, let me just check on timings here. How are we doing for time? Oh, that's not bad. The other thing, I got an email a few days ago, and I actually meant to talk about it because it's quite funny. So there is a website out there called Pod Status, and what it does is it gives you detailed statistics. I believe it's something you have to pay for. Anyway, I got this email from Pod Status. This is how desperate they are for business. The Diary of a Wannabe Writer is ranking very well in Luxembourg, is the headline. And hello, how's it going? Hope all is well. I have some cool information that might interest you. Your podcast, The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, has good performance in Apple Podcast rankings last 30 days. Position 60 in the category Personal Journals in Luxembourg, and position 159 in the category Personal Journals, United Kingdom. This data is provided by podstatus.com. Happy podcasting. So I clicked on the link and basically they just want to sell me an account. I'm not going to do this because I've had about 2 podcasts listened to in Luxembourg. So if I'm position 60 because people have listened to 20 minutes or probably 12 minutes worth of podcasts, then What? What a load of nonsense. And I position 159 in the personal journals in the United Kingdom. Again, a handful of people that listen to this. I do this more to hold myself accountable, although it is lovely that one or two of you do listen. But I just thought it was quite... And initially I was like, 60 in Luxembourg. That's not bad. Then I remembered, how tiny Luxembourg is. So one person listening to it would actually skew the stats in a way that it wouldn't in a larger country. And B, they just want me to buy an account with them, which I have zero intention of doing. So yeah. So that's kind of all I really wanted to say today. I'm very pleased that I managed to do a podcast every day this month. At the beginning of the month, I wasn't sure that I'd manage it. I do have no emergency podcasts in the bank, so I'm going to record a couple of those tomorrow, I think, just so that we can start as we mean to go on. And I want to basically, whether I'll do it or not, but my intention is to do a podcast every day now until I get to podcast 200, which is the deadline I've set myself for finishing the first draft of Empress of the Trees. So will I succeed? Well, the only way to find out is to stay right here and listen to me waffle for 6 or more minutes every day for no good reason. Thank you for tuning in. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.